How are you? Uh, my name is Paulo, and today I'm going to be talking about education, but education on learning by being immersed in every situation, how experiences actually shape who we are and how we understand the world around us. I'm from Panama, and we were planning a trip, a group of friends from the UK going to Panama. Obviously, that's not my friend, but I have this very special, specific friend that he spent hours and days researching, looking for the best places to go, looking at what time he had to be somewhere to actually see the sunset, um, looking at the food, looking at where to have the best national dish. But when we got there, my friend spent most of the time on the telephone. He was taking photos, posting photos online, and answering to the comments. And he was missing what was actually happening around. So today, I want to talk to you about how we use technology to understand the world that it's around us, but how important also is to stop and listen, stop and see and learn from what is in front of us. Mm, So so we have this very nice gadget, the telephone. And nowadays, the telephone is to communicate, to look for information, to finding our way around, as I was doing today. And we think that by downloading something from the internet or by reading uh, a special information, that we know about it. But those are just facts. And like my friend, he knew everything about going to Panama, but he did not experience being there. And I've heard from our colleagues about history, about engaging with people, about empathy. So, all of these important elements, you're not going to, you can read about it, but it is until you experience them that you understand that you are going to understand the other person. You're going to understand the culture. So this illusion that, and by the way, I'm not saying that I am against technology, which I am not, but I believe that nowadays we live so immersed in that little bubble of the telephone that we're missing quite a lot. And the most important things in life that cannot be learned from the internet. So when we go about our day, there are so many different things happening that we miss, and we become spectators. We miss that human touch. We missed um, what else is good. Our lives are so framed by, if I'm going to, sorry, from A to B, um, I use my telephone, but we're missing in that journey. We're missing that connection with other people. Even in when we're traveling in, let's say, for example, public transportation, everybody's looking at their telephones. So that connection that we have with people, that cannot be taught by the information that we get in from the information that we get from the internet. Culture is the greatest teacher in the world. But we need to be immersed in in culture. Let me tell you a story about that trip from Panama. So we went to a place, and then there was this lady making straw hats, and everybody was taking photos of the lady. Um, and took a photo and left. Then I thought, well, you know what? I mean, I want to ask questions about this. You know, why are you doing this? Um, how did you learn to do this? And then she told me that if it was a family tradition, and I learned that in that community, women actually are the main providers for the households, and it is a cultural thing, and it was an indigenous community. So that cultural environment and that conversation with that lady taught me not only about hat making, but taught me about patience, taught me about empathy, taught me about history and culture, things that cannot be learned. My friend, I said, well, they make straw hats here, but why do they make them? And how these cultural traditions actually make that community sustainable for the future. So I learned that culture is also a very important element for sustainable futures. So there is, um, uh, speaking about from a more theoretical point of view, um, neuroscientists say that we learn much more when we are involved physically and emotionally. And also, some academics in education indicate that learning happens when we experience something. So there I was visiting the HMS Victory in the UK, and I'd always heard about who was Rachel Nelson, and that he died in the Battle of Trafalgar. But when I got there, the point where he was killed or shot, I felt a movement of connection with that part of the history that otherwise I would just read it in a book. So what I'm trying to say here is that you can read the information. That's good. You can read the instructions. Good. But until you actually experience or get involved emotionally or physically, that's where that is the learning that actually sticks with you. It's like reading a recipe. I mean, you can read a recipe to make a chocolate cake. Uh, but you don't say, "Oh, I know how to make a chocolate cake." Oh, yes, I have the information, but it's until you make the chocolate cake and you try it once, twice, that you actually learn how to make it. So, yes, technology gives us the information, technology gives us the background, the data, but it's us that actually have to immerse ourselves in that culture, in that situation, to make that learning happen. So, oops. So, what I'm trying to say, what I want to say to you is that for once, just try to look at the world from a complete different perspective, yours. Put your telephone in your pocket. Go on your day, and you're going to see things that they might have been there for a long time, but because we don't see it, because we're in a busy life and we are overloaded with information. So use the information to learn, but to learn and to learn about the world around you. Thank you very much.